Hey guys, for this Let's Practice Together video, I would like us to take a look at the famous Moon River from Audrey Hepburn's iconic movie Breakfast at Tiffany's. The version that we will be using today is from the book Violin, 영화에 빠지다 by Kim Dong-young. Let's get started. In some sense, this piece may feel familiar to you guys because 2 out of the 3 challenges for this piece we already got to experience from Suzuki's Song of the Wind. So in that piece, 2 of the goals were to train the fifths. So going back and forth across 2 strings with 1 finger, whichever finger that may be. For Song of the Wind, we trained our 3rd finger. For this piece, it's going to be the 2nd finger. So just to show that to you guys a little bit, from the very beginning, our first note is here, and the 2nd note is here. So the same going across 2 strings, the 5th movement. So when we put it, kind of looks like this. So that's the first challenge. The second challenge is the 0-3-2-1 that we practiced continuously. So when that measure comes up, it's going to be familiar to you guys. The third challenge for this piece that we didn't get to experience before is the string crossing. So prior to this piece, we only used the 2 upper strings, and then we practiced going back and forth between the A and E string. For this Moon River piece, the main 2 strings are still the A string and the E string, but there's a glimpse of the D string. So 3 strings will be used, and there will be jumping practices. So going from this kind of jump. So the goal for that would be to not touch the middle string. So string crossing in a clean manner, not touching the middle string. Okay, so let's take a look from the beginning. For this piece, Moon River, the first 2 measures are a rest because the piano opens the piece for us. We start playing from measure 3, and I would like to show you guys the placement of the notes. So the first note, which is measure 3, is a 2nd finger on the A string. Measure 4, right away, we are using this movement. So when you place your 2nd finger on for measure 3, it would be nice if you guys can place it together both on the A string and the E string. So since if we do it this way, measure 3, A string, measure 4, E string, and then the 2nd note of measure 4 is a 1. Measure 5, open E string, so 0, and then we have the 3-2-1. Now, I would like to talk about accidentals. So, for this piece, we have something called a flat. So prior to this piece, we were only dealing with sharps. Now, we have a symbol that looks like a lowercase b in the beginning of each staff. So this means to put the applied note, in this case B or C, so do re mi fa sol la si, this note. So whenever you see a she note, then we put it 1 line lower. So in this case, the 3-2-1 pattern that we know is this. So re, do, si. But because there's a flat on the C note, this would be the new pattern. So 3, 2, 1. Now measure 6. We have 2 on the A string, and then last note 2 on the D string. So again, the fifth practicing with the second finger. Let's do it one more time. First note, 2, measure 4. 2, 1, 0, 3, 2, flattened first finger, and then 2, 2. So this is the first 4 measures. Let's see how that sounds like. So second finger on the A string. Now just pull your elbow out a little bit and your second finger is right there. Now 1. Now we're going to be doing the 0, 3, 2, 1, but the 1 is 1 line back. 0. Now 3, 2, 1. Now 2 on the A string and the D string. Okay, so basically that was a review of Song of the Wind, and we already got through the first 4 measures. Let's do that one more time. Okay, so second finger on the A string, and keep in mind that you have to do a fifth right away. Ready? 1, 0. Now prepare 3, 2, 1, but 1 is 1 level lower. Ready? Now again the fifth. So on the A string and the D string. Okay, now measure 7 and 9 is a repetition of measure 5 and 6. So let's play measure 7 and 8 because we already know how to do that now. So 0, 3, 2, 1, 2, 2. Ready? Now we have the third challenge, which happens between measure 6 and 7. So the last note of measure 6 and the first note of measure 7, there is that huge jump, which is our third goal. So going from the D string, second finger, and then E string. So we have to practice going up bow on the D, down bow on the E. So basically what I recommend is that once you play the D string, stop the bow, angle your elbow like this. Okay, so let's practice from measure 6 to measure 7 downbeat. So we will be playing 3 notes, 2, 2, and the open E string like this. Let's repeat just these 3 notes 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's 1. Now we are starting from measure 6 and playing only the first note of measure 7. So place the second finger on the A and D string together and then anticipate that huge jump that is about to happen for measure 7. Ready? Good job. Last one. Ready? Okay, now let's check measure 8 and 9, and then we can put the whole first phrase together. So 8 is the usual third finger line, but on the D string this time. So it would be here. So this is measure 8 and 2/3 of measure 9. So sounds like this. So this is all the way up to measure 9, first 2 beats. So let's go from measure 3 until this point and put this whole first phrase together. Okay, so find the second finger on the A string and the E string together. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Now 0, 3, 2, 1. Now 2, 2. Jump. Big jump. 3, 2, 1. 2, 2. Let's do that one more time as a review. So find the 2, 2. Okay, now let's continue on from measure 10's last beat. So it's the note that we all know very well, the default open A string. So let's go from measure 11 now. So measure 11 is again the 2, 2. So it's the D string, this line. That's 11. Measure 12. Just move your elbow and then you already have it on the A string. Open A and then 3, 2 on the D string. Now measure 14, it's very similar. So 2, open A, 3. Measure 15, 2. Let's put the bow on now from the last beat of measure 10. Open A, up bow, and then we will be putting 2, 2 on the D and A string. Now open A. Now put 3 and 2 together on the D string. Now just pull your elbow out and your second finger is on the A string. Now 3, 2. And there we have it. Let's do that one more time. So last beat of measure 10. 1, 2. Okay, now let's continue from measure 15. 2 on the D string, open A, and then the third note of measure 15 is right across the A string. And then 1, 0, 3. Now for 17, you have two options. You can either use the fourth finger here, or you can use the open E string. What is better? It has its pros and cons. So when we use the fourth finger, it's basically to maintain a similar timbre because the open E string is very, very bright. So when we have this kind of color, this kind of sudden bright color may bother some people. So then everything is pretty soft. So if you guys pay attention to the timbre that you guys want, then it will help you guys make the choice. Okay, so let's play from measure 15. It's starting down bow. Ready? 2. Now just move the finger across. 1 back here. Now, or 2, 3. So let's try that one more time. I'm going to be using the fourth finger this time because for me, I feel like the fourth finger gives a smoother phrase. So that's what I choose to do. But you guys can use E string as well. Okay, let's go from measure 15, same place, 2, 3. Okay, now from measure 19, actually from measure 19 until 27 is exactly the same as measure 3 to measure 11, which means that we can jump ahead to measure 28. So because the phrase is starting the bar before, I'm going to go from measure 26, the last note. So let's go from measure 26, the last note. So it's an open A string, and then measure 27, D string 2, measure 28, open A, and then again 2 right across, 1, 2, 1, 31 is here on the A string, 32, 0, 3, 2, 1, 0, 3, 2, 1. 33 is 2, again, and 2, and then 0, 3, 2, 1. 35 is 2, 36 is again 2 on the D string. So we are having a lot of the 2 to 5th movements. 37 back here on the A string. And then 3, open A, 2. So for the second half, actually, because it's a repetition of the 2, 2 and the 0, 3, 2, 1, I think the left hand is not that big of a challenge. So let's add the bow and see what kind of things we need to take care of. So last note of measure 26, or we can call it the pick up to measure 27. So pick up to measure 27. Here I wouldn't lift up the second finger, I would just leave it there. And then have the second on the A and D. Now we have a huge jump from the D to E. So stop the bow. Now one back here. Okay, let's try that one more time. Pick up to 27. Since we learned all the notes, I would like to talk about bow distribution. Because we are in 3/4 time, so 3 beats per measure, a lot of times for this piece, the division is 2 beats plus 1. So for example, we have this kind of rhythm a lot. 1, 2. The problem is that because the downbeat is 2 beats and the up bow is only 1 beat, we end up running out of bow if we don't plan ahead. So one thing that we have to keep in mind is if the down bow beat is longer, followed by a shorter beat up bow, we have to save the bow. So measure 5 to 6 is an example of that. So if we use the full bow here, then suddenly we could get a bump on the up bow because we have to move the bow too quickly. So if we save the bow just a little bit, like this. The second spot that has this kind of idea but is much worse is measure 9. So in measure 9, instead of 2 beats and 1 beat, we have 5 beats and then 1 beat, followed by measure 11's 3 beats, which looks like this. So this is measure 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We only have 1 beat, and then we have 3 beats again. 1, 2, 3. And then 1 beat, and then 2 beats. So we want to save the bow somehow and try to get back. So for measure 9, let's try to save the bow as much as we can. Now a light up bow. So now we have enough bow for 3 beats. Now from measure 12 on, we will be using more bow on the up bow and less bow on the down bow so that we can move up and migrate down to the lower half of the bow. So good amount, save. Good amount. Now we are finally in the lower half of the bow. Now we are comfortable here. Like this. So this is a great piece to practice planning ahead on bow speed and how much bow we would like to use for the next measures to be played beautifully as well. Okay guys, so let's put this whole piece together. Okay, so that's it for this video. Do watch the movie Breakfast at Tiffany's and look out for the scene where Audrey Hepburn sings this outside in the porch with such simplicity and innocence. It's always good to refer to the original version and then apply it to our playing. So I hope you guys enjoyed learning this piece, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!